And folks, most of the valley seeing no impact from Tropical Storm Beta, but that's not the case at South Padre Island, not so much from the sky weather-wise, but from the ocean. Take a look at this view again. We moved Sky 5 a little bit to the right now, looking down at the beach right there at the Isla Grande, and you can see how the water's been all the way up at some point to the seawall, probably during the high tide, middle of the night. There's another high tide late tonight after 10 o'clock, so we may see that water come back up again as it has been. And take a look at what it's looked like, thanks to Michael Solars from this. This is just at one of the beach access points where there's usually lots of beach, but boy, today not so much. And again, the high tides are coming during the overnight hours, fortunately, with the next one coming up later on tonight. But boy, look at that water coming all the way up to the dune line, and there's been a tremendous amount of erosion at the beach at South Padre Island. And the video looks more dramatic today just because the skies were cloudy this morning, unlike yesterday where it was just a blue sky overhead. That's the view on the bay side. That's right there next to Jim's Pier and the Painted Marlin where the docks are underwater. We still have a coastal flood warning in effect until 7 a.m. Significant coastal flooding continues to be expected. A high surf advisory until 7 a.m. Those waves are running 6 to 10 feet out there in the surf zone. And of course, that also leads to dangerous rip currents. So that rip current advisory in effect until tomorrow morning as well. So it's rough out there. And when you look at the storm, it's way off to the northeast of it, 163 miles or so to the center of that storm. But it's the flow around it that's given us that persistent north to northeasterly flow down across the western part of the Gulf of Mexico. So all that water goes into the coast up north and then just gets pushed right down the coast and right into the bay and right into the surf here, and we end up with those extremely high tides. There's a closer look now, and you can see there's Victoria in the picture. The storm sitting just offshore right now, about 25 miles to the southeast of Port O'Connor. It's moving 5 miles an hour, so that means 5 hours to Port O'Connor. So about 10 o'clock tonight, we expect this thing to, the center of it, to make landfall there. And then it'll turn to the northeast and then eventually race off to the east. And then, but even, 2 days of this thing raining over southeast Texas, but then it rains itself out and falls apart probably somewhere over northern Mississippi or Alabama by the end of the week. Here's projected rainfall totals for southeast Texas, and that's updated just in the last few minutes now. So right on the coast, that 4 to 8 has dropped off, but you get south of Houston, you're still looking at 4 to 8 inches there. But for us, nothing. Less than a quarter, well, probably less than 100th. For most places, I think we get absolutely nothing out of that. And that's what the IBM graph model is showing us. I think we do see patchy clouds around. Like today, the cloud shield from this has gotten quite large, and so we are seeing clouds from this. But rain, not so much. And I don't think we see any anytime soon from this. Instead, we end up with a dry forecast. So your 3-day rain chances, dry. Thursday, 10%, but even that, probably optimistic. So there goes the storm. And notice if you look at the valley, the cloud shield just barely gets here, but the rain shield does not as the system pulls away. Southeast Texas sees rain through Wednesday, but then by Thursday, system finally starts to get out of the state, and that dries things out eventually. So tonight, partly cloudy and mild, low of 70, west-northwesterly winds. Tomorrow, back up to 90 with partly to mostly sunny skies. A light breeze out of the west-northwest. There'll be some gusts, maybe 20. Probably not quite as strong as today. And oh, by the way, fall starts tomorrow morning. You've been waiting for that for 3 months, right? Wednesday, you're at 92. Thursday, you're at 91. Right about normal for this time of year. We do warm it up a little bit later in the week, and then early next week, we drop it back off a couple of degrees. But fall officially, autumn officially, kicks off early tomorrow. That's your updated First Warn 5 AccuWeather forecast.